Hi friends, Miss Saturday back today with another lesson in writing. I'm still working on poetry, and I have a story to tell you, and it has to do with poetry. Let me tell you the story first. So I was on the phone with my friend a few months ago, maybe like last year, and she was telling me all about how she was at the beach, and she was telling me all about these seashells that she was seeing. And I just, for some reason, I was having trouble understanding her on the phone. I was like, what do they look like? I'm still confused. Can you describe them a little more? And for some reason, she just couldn't describe them in a way that was helping me picture what those seashells really looked like. And I figured out why I couldn't picture what those seashells looked like. And I think it was because my friend wasn't using the most exact, precise words to describe them to me. So, friends, guess what? Poets need to use precise and exact words so that their poems are the best they can be, so that they're really descriptive. So, our goal today is I can think carefully about the words I choose, searching for exactly the right words to match what I'm trying to say. And I can do this by rereading, asking if words exactly match the image and circling those that don't, imagining the image and listing possible words to match it, and 3, choosing the precise word that best matches the image and meaning. Okay, so today we're going to take a look at one of my poems, and I'm going to go through these steps to make sure that the words in my poems are exactly what I need them to, what I'm imagining in my mind. So they're exactly as they should be, okay? Because I don't want to pick a word that's not exactly what I'm imagining in my mind. So I'm going to show you my poem. It's called My Mom. And I'm going to go through these steps with you to make sure that all the words in my poem are exactly what I mean and what I want them to mean. Okay, so this is the poem I wrote today. It goes like this. My mom. In my lunchbox, a frozen juice because it's hot today, covered in paper so it won't melt. How come I never, ever see her do this? So that is my poem. And I'm going back to these steps today because I'm thinking about picking the most precise words, about being very exact and very intentional with the way I say things. And I'm thinking the first thing I can do to make sure I have the most precise words is reread, asking myself if words exactly match the image that I have in my head. And if they don't match, I'm going to circle those words. So I'm picturing my mom and I'm picturing the juice box she packs me in my lunchbox, right? And looking back at my poem here, there's a few things that I'm not really sure about. So I'm picturing my lunchbox, and in it, inside, there's a frozen juice, and there's paper on the juice box, but it's not exactly covered with the paper. Not sure if that's exactly what I want to say. So I'm imagining, and covered is not the right word I want to use there. So I'm going to circle it. For some reason, when I go back, I close my eyes and I imagine that juice box in there. Covered is not, it's not just covered. There's more to it. So that's a word that I want to go back to, okay? So I'm looking at the word covered. I've picked my word that doesn't match what I actually mean. And now I'm going to think of step 2. And I'm going to imagine that image of that juice box. It's not exactly covered, but there's paper around it in some way. And I'm going to list possible words to match it. So I'm going to try a few out. And you'll need a Post-it for this, or a few Post-its. I have mine right here, my orange one. And I'm going to list some words that I could use instead of covered, okay? Because it's hot today. Covered in paper so it won't melt. So it's a frozen juice. Closing my eyes and I'm picturing it. It's not exactly covered with paper. Maybe it's like wrapped. I could use wrapped. I might use wrapped instead. It's kind of wrapped in paper. Maybe it's even like held in paper. Held. Still thinking maybe I like nestled. It's a little more gentle. It's nestled. Maybe even like protected in that paper. Because it is. My mom didn't want it to get sweaty, that juice box. She didn't want it to like leak all over the place. It's protected by that paper. It's being blocked off from everything else. So I made a few words that could replace covered because it's not exactly what I was thinking. So now, after I did that list, I'm going to go to my third step. And I'm going to choose the precise word that best matches the image in my head and the meaning or what I want it to mean. So going back to my juice box and the papers covering it, right? I'm thinking about what did I really mean to say there? And looking at my list of words, I really honestly think protected is the best. And I think protected is the best because the juice is protecting me from the heat, right? I'm not getting too hot because I have a nice cold juice to help me. And also, just like my mom protects me by packing me a juice every day. So I like that the word protected can mean two things there. It can mean I'm protected from the heat, and my mom also is protecting me by packing me that juice. Now covered, that word covered didn't show me that. Was not the meaning that I intended. So I'm going to change that word to protected because that is really what I meant, and that was really what I was picturing in my mind when I wanted to write this section of my poem. Okay, friends? So today, I really want you to pay attention to the words in your poems and pick the words that are exactly what you're thinking. I can think carefully about the words I choose, searching for exactly the right word to match what I'm trying to say. These are the steps you can take to do this. And so the first thing, as you saw me do, is reread, asking if words exactly match the image in your head. And if they don't, circle them. If that word is not what you were thinking, circle it. Or even if it was what you were thinking at one time, but now it's not, circle it. You can find a better word. And then you're going to imagine the image and list possible words to match it, just like I did here on my Post-its. You can use a Post-it for this. And then after you list those words, step 3, you're going to choose the precise word, the exact word that matches what you were meaning to say and what you picture in your mind when you wrote this poem, okay? So you're really gonna have to think, you're really gonna have to imagine, close those eyes and imagine what you really wanna say here, okay? Because your words are powerful and you have the power to say exactly what you mean and exactly what you're thinking.